Hope everybody's having a good day. I want to go over a few things here real quick. My previous videos and stuff, I've done videos on different exercises you can perform and stuff to get your fingers working a little bit better on the guitar, as well as a little faster. For example, now you might notice and stuff it sounds a little bit different than what it has sometime before. I have recently figured out how to get my guitar to play on the computer without having to use an external source, but that particular amp that I use, which I then plug a wire into, run it into my computer, it's a solid state amp. It's a line 6 solid state amp. So when I'm playing music on it and stuff, no matter what I play or how I try to make the adjustments on that amp, there's always a little bit of an effect that goes through it. So the sounds don't come out clean. With the other amp that I have, it's a Marshall. It's a 2 amp Marshall. It doesn't have any effects built into it whatsoever. So when I'm playing these things and stuff, the sounds come out really clean. Pretty much it's basically whatever the guitar sounds like is what the amp is making it to sound like. No effects, no distortion, no overdrive. It only actually has 3 channels in it. This channel, which is clean, a crunch or lead channel, which doesn't seem to be working right now. That's why. So that's the clean channel right there. The other channel is more of a lead channel and stuff, which basically is pretty much just kind of higher sounding. And then it's got the overdrive sort of sound to it. And with that, it also has additional overdrive to it. But for the most part and stuff, this is just pretty much clean sounding. But other than the exercises that I showed you right here and here, sort of sounds. You also got the scales and stuff that you can work on. These are just the pentatonic scales, but and again, in other videos and stuff, I've also shown these exercises you can use, as well as going down this way. But what does that bring us to? It brings us to just basically getting our fingers worked in, getting our speed up, our accuracy, which is something I'm still working on trying to improve myself. Because when you start to increase your speed and stuff, your accuracy kind of comes down, or if you try to increase your accuracy, your speed comes down. So trying to develop both of those at the same time and bring them both up at the same time takes quite a bit of work. A lot of practicing doing these exercises, or the exercises of just simply notes, which I showed a note chart for the guitar and stuff. As long as it's tuned to E standard tuning, being like E, A, B, G, E, and E. Turn that down just a little bit more. So, but besides those and stuff, besides just the open strings, you have the E, F, G, E, C, E, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it continues to that and stuff. Like I said, the chart I showed and stuff in one of my other YouTube videos, or if you want to look it up yourself on Google, you can. Gives you basically all the notes on the guitar, as long as it's, again, tuned to E standard tuning. Now, I've also shown chords on there too, in charts on chords, on how to play like the A chord, the D chord, the G chord, even the C chord. I think I've even demonstrated some of the bar chords. I got the F bar chord here, G, a B bar chord, which is something that always is. The bar chords right now are kind of slowing me down a little bit because I'm still trying to get used to those finger shapes and work them into my playing. But then we also discussed why these particular chords are named what they are. And I did that because that was one of the questions I had when I first started. Why is this an A chord? Or a D chord? Or a G chord? Sort of thing. And yeah, I may have gone over a little bit and stuff. It's just because the first note you play in the G chord right here is a G. That's not entirely 100% why it's called a G chord. And that's what we're going to get to with this. So the next part would be to not just playing the chords or playing the notes on the guitar and stuff, but also understanding scales. And yes, like I mentioned before, we got the pentatonic scale right here. But there's also so many more scales. Every note actually has its own scale to it. Starting with, like, for example, the A scale, A major scale. Call it the major scale or the normal scale, but the A scale. There's the A right there. How do you determine what the scale of that is? Well, you can play pretty much any scale on the guitar and stuff if you have a simple formula. The formula I have here and stuff, it's actually more of a European formula, and I'll translate that to an English formula. It's they're both the same, they just use different words. The European one kind of makes a little more sense than the American one does, but basically the formula for it, let's see if I can get it here on the camera, right there on the top, on the right side, or, yeah, left side, basically the TTS, TTTS. The T stands for tones, and the S tone. Basically what a tone is basically skipping a fret. So if you can see my finger here, if you play the open E, one tone would be down, skipping one fret to the F sharp. Now we haven't really discussed F sharp too much, and it's not really on my note chart. So if we did this a little bit differently, the F right there to the G, that would be one tone, or the T. Now if you wanted to try the semitones and step down, so go from the E to the F is a semitone. Now the reason I say it in the European fashion is because it makes more sense that way. The American fashion is step and half step, which I kind of agree doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. One step being from F to G. Well, why would that be considered a step? You don't skip a step in stairs, do you? When you go up a set of stairs or down a set of stairs, you don't skip a step every time. Some people may just make it faster or whatnot, but yeah, you don't skip a step. So why is it considered a step from F to G and a from F to F sharp or E to F? And that's why I'm only referring to this in the European fashion, because one tone or a semitone makes more sense. A tone being that, and a semitone, which would normally indicates half. So E to F would be one semitone. So you can use that formula for any note and determine what a scale is by that. Once you start with the root and go to back to the root at the lower part of the neck there, then you've actually completed the entire scale. Let's break that down a little bit farther. So the root would be, we're going to start with the A here, which is the 5th string. This right here, string right here. That's an A right there. So if we were to go through that entire scale, it would be A, B for one tone, C sharp for another tone, D for a semitone, E for another tone, F for another tone, G sharp for another tone, and A. Now if we were to play that a little bit faster so it sounds a little bit better, it would be, my screen's going blank here. Uh, it'd be A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A. And then go backwards, because it's probably a good idea to get used to it going forwards and backwards. So A to G sharp, F sharp, E to D to C sharp to B to A. The root would be the A, and that's where you're going to finish off at is the A. Whatever the scale is, that's pretty much the root. So we're doing a major scale of A or a normal scale of A. So you're going to start with the A and end with an A note. So again, one more time without me talking through it and stuff so you can actually hear it. There's your A major scale. Can that be done with anything? Yes, it can be done with anything. Let's start with the B. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, D. Now here's the key to any of these scales. No matter how you play these scales, no matter which note you start off with, it needs to contain all 7 of the musical notes in it, A through G. You can't skip any. Now, what makes this difficult is there's some that actually have a flat, flat, or a sharp, sharp in it. For example, we did that one with B. So if we were to start with, say, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, and then back to B flat. I was trying to think of one that actually starts with a sharper flat, flat and stuff that actually has one in it. Let's go backwards here in order to do this. So this would be the D, E, F sharp, but let's call this one an E sharp sharp and go backwards with it. So E sharp sharp. Trying to go back, that would be D sharp sharp. Anyways, you kind of got the idea. Basically, it's one tone to a semitone, so forth and so on. So tone, tone, semitone, then 3 tones, tone, 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 then semitone. I was trying to get a little complicated in there and stuff because I don't have it all memorized yet, but I am working on exercising it and learning it more. So again, how do we're still discussing the idea of how does the A chord right here be called the A chord, besides the fact that it just starts with an A in the chord. Well, if we move on to triads and understanding triads, triads are a formula of the first, third, and the fifth note of a specific scale. So if you want to do a triad of the A, we already discussed the A scale here. A, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, back to the A. We would do the triad of that. We would go A, we would skip the B to the C sharp, so A to C, C sharp. And then we skip the D and go to the E. So if you can get your fingers in that kind of shape right there, which shouldn't be too hard, especially if you've been practicing and exercising. A, D, sorry, there it is. A, B, C sharp. No, that's where I messed up. Okay, sorry. Like I said, still learning this stuff. A, C sharp, and E. Yeah. A, C sharp, E. A, C sharp, E. There's your triad. Now, normally when a triad is played and stuff, they're normally played in 3-note increments, as more of a chord. So just going down this way to learn your scales, you can also go this way and learn your scales as well. So the A, B, C sharp, D, which would be the open D string, to the E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So there's another way of playing your scales. And you can do this throughout most of them. I've been sitting here practicing the A for the most part today, starting with the A with every different position and stuff. Depending on how many frets you have, you can get most of them, a lot of them down. We already did that one: A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then back to the A, G sharp, F, E, D, C sharp, B, A. If you've practiced and remembered where all the notes are on the guitar and stuff, you can move on to the next note, or the next A, being right here. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. And then you can continue moving forward through that. And you can, again, find all the triads for it. The first, third, and fifth of those particular ones. A, B, C sharp, so A and C sharp, right there. D, E, so there's your fifth right there. F sharp, G sharp, A. So A, B, C sharp, so there's our third again. A, C sharp, D, E. Now this one will be a little more tricky to play as fast as what we were able to do it up here because we had the open string. But that's another great exercise you can use right there. Getting used to moving your fingers around and keeping those notes consistent with, say, a metronome. You want to keep up with a metronome, so sort of thing. Now, granted, something I'm working on besides just my accuracy and my speed is the ability to play anything on the guitar without actually looking at the fretboard. But in order to do that, you have to be so familiar with the fretboard as far as shapes, position memory, sort of thing and stuff, that it can just actually come natural to you. So using those, we can determine that in this A chord right here, and I'll use my finger right here, I am literally covering up the second fret of the D, G, and B strings right there with one finger. So the first note we play, yes, it's an A. That's normally why we would consider it an A chord, but if we break it down a little farther, first chord note being an A, the second note being an E. Well, the E, like we just discussed, is the fifth note in the A scale, so that's part of the triad. So A, E, and then the next note down is another A, so there's also another note for the triad for the A major scale. The next note down being the C sharp, right there, and then the last one being the E. So we're specifically using just the triad notes to make up the chord. Does this work with all the chords? Yes, it does. Now, it works for all the G chord, the A chord, the D chord, the E chord, those sort of things. Now, when you change it to something like the A minor chord or the D minor chord, all you're doing is you're manipulating the triad to make it a minor, which also has a name on here. Again, I write this stuff down to help me remember this stuff, if you can see it very well. If I'm going too fast with this, or you're not understanding what I'm going through and stuff, again, I'm not a teacher. I'm just trying to inspire people to learn these things. It also helps me in the way that I'm sitting here practicing it with you and stuff, and getting the patterns down more, memorizing them better, and all that sort of stuff. But I am using an online course called justinguitar.com, to help me learn these things, because playing the guitar and stuff is something that I'm really dedicated into doing. If you haven't noticed the videos I have out there, I do a little bit of live streaming on Twitch. I haven't done any yet on YouTube, and I may not do any for a while on YouTube, but just because of the computer setup I have. But either way, so can we manipulate this A chord right here? I'm going to go back to use my three fingers here that I normally use. So when we change this C sharp that my pinky is currently sitting on to a normal C, we play just those three notes. That's your triad right there. You can add the A and the E in it because of the fact that it goes along with it to make the chord. You got the A, E, and the C sharp right there, which is the triad form of the A major scale. If we were to change this C sharp right here to a C, according to my notes right here, like I said, that I write down, it's something I'm trying to learn to memorize, all we are simply doing is changing the C sharp to a C, which is considered a minor triad, which in this case would also be considered the A minor. Can we manipulate that even more? Yes. There's also an augmented triad and a diminished triad. The augmented triad is where you take the fifth and you sharpen the fifth. Now, if we sharpen the fifth, which in this case is an E, it goes to either an E sharp or also known as an F. So we would have to find all the Fs that we currently play for this A minor or A chord and change the E's to an F or an E sharp. Well, the first note here being the A, we would take something or another and try to change this E right here on the first string to an F or an E sharp. So we are attempting to do that right now with my fingers. I'm going to use my pinky because I'm going to need my other finger here in a minute. So there's part of it right there. The next note down being an A, we can leave that to where it is. And the C sharp, we can leave that where it is, because in this particular case, all we're doing is doing an augmented triad or an augmented chord of the A. The last one is the last string at the bottom, the first string, which we normally play an open E. We're going to change that to an F as well, or an E sharp. Discovered a new chord right there. It's an augmented A chord. Now, I don't know if it has another name besides that and stuff, but yeah, I'm sure you've seen people use this particular chord multiple times when playing songs. Now, that shape right there may not be familiar, may be kind of hard for some people to make and stuff. The idea of it is to make sure that each string is ringing out itself. So, before I go any farther and stuff, a normal triad is just the normal first, third, and fifth of any scale. Example, again, A, D, C sharp being the C sharp being the third, D, E, E being the fifth. Or if you want to see it a different way, A, D, C sharp, D, D, and then E. So A, C sharp, E. Now, all I've done is just manipulated going from using one string by itself to using multiple strings, playing the notes that I've learned off of that chart that I showed you. So the minor triad again, and I got that formula down here as well. I'll show it to you one more time. Is the first, the flat third, and the fifth, which is what makes up our A minor, because we only have one third in there. In the A scale, we only have one third note, which is where our pinky is sitting on a C sharp. So then we just change it to a semitone down. And you can hear it right there. And then as you see, an augmented triad and stuff, the formula for that is 1, 3, and sharp 5. So we have to take any E that's in that chord and change it to a sharp, which is basically moving down the neck of the guitar. This way's for the flats. Is that correct? No, it's not correct. But in this case and stuff, since we are, um, yeah, so yeah, that wasn't correct. My mistake. Sharps going this way, flats going this way. Students still learning. So, got the A, the E. We need to change the E, so we're going to adjust our fingers so we can get the E in there. I'm using my pinky in this case. There's the E sharp or the F. Another A, C sharp, E sharp or F. So again, the augmented formula is 1, 3, sharp 5. One more to do here, which is the diminished triad. Diminished triad formula is 1, flat 3, flat 5. So again, we can keep the A where it is. The flat 3 is the C sharp. So we're going to change the C sharp to a C, which would be where our pinky sits, and it's going to go to the C right there. That's the only C we have, as well as changing our E's to flat E's. Now this may be a little bit difficult because I've never made this shape with my fingers before. So I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to, okay, there it is. Discovering something new. So if you can see where my fingers are, I got the first finger covering the first 2 frets, the C, the flat 5th. I take that back. So I can't actually do it because this right here, moving it back 1 and stuff doesn't exist. So in this case and stuff, I would be in position to play that on. Is that possible? Yes, it is. So when we normally, I don't have a capo yet. I plan on getting one in the future here soon. When we normally play with a capo and stuff, we would normally adjust it that way. But we would have to find actually somewhere else to play it. But luckily, those same shapes exist right here on the 12th fret. So we would have to literally try to manipulate our fingers into a shape that would make the diminished triad for the A chord, which can be very difficult. The A, and then I'm going to try to cover up these. No, I'd have to go back 1. Again, something you can work on if you want to try it. But an easier way to do it, since you can't play an open chord that way up here, you would just skip the E. You got the E right here, so you can make that different. So then you would play this right here without the high E string. You might be able to use your ring finger right there to mute that string. I think that'd be about it. The A, then we got the E flat right there. Then we got the A again, and we got the C, which is the flattened 3rd. That's about the best I can come up with that one on that one right there. We're having to skip that bottom string right there. So, but this is just kind of showing you and stuff that even though you know the notes, if you've been practicing them and you know some of the chords and stuff, how you can manipulate some of the chords to make different sounds, as well as why these chords are called what they are, like the G chord right there. Is there any kind of changes for that? Well, first off, we need to understand what the G scale is. The G, A, B, C, D sharp, E sharp, E, F sharp, back to the G. G, F sharp, E, D sharp, C, B, A, G. Believe it or not, using this right here and stuff is a way I figured out actually how to play a specific song. And yes, I could work on any scale and stuff. You just have to stop at the 4th note right there and then come back. So start with the root, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop at the 4th and go back. Sort of thing. So yes, we went through the G, A, B, and fifth. Well, first is obviously the G. You got the A, but we're going to skip that because it's a second. B, B being the third, so it's G, B, and then we got the C and D sharp. Well, there's our fifth right there. Is there a better way of playing this? Yeah. Since there is actually a G open string right here, we can play it on that one as well. So G, skipping that one, B, so we got now the G, B, C, D sharp. So there we go right there. There's all three notes for the triad. G, B, G, B, and D. Sort of thing. So when you look this up on here and stuff, first note we're playing is obviously the G. Second note we're playing is, there's our third right there, the B. A string, A, B. And then the next one we're playing is the D. That's our fifth. And the next we're playing is G again. And then B. That's our third. And then we cover up this, make the G right there. And that's all three of our notes right there, our triad for the G. And again, another one that can be augmented. So let's make it a G minor. Is it possible to do that? Well, we would end up having to take that third note, which is the B, and make it flat. So there are two B's in this. The first one for the flat, but the second one is actually an open string right here. That string right there, that's our B right there. This is B sharp. We can't make it flat, so in this case we cannot make the G sharp or the G minor. There are other ways to do it though besides just this way. We can end up muting that string. So what if we were to play right here, which I know a lot of people do that, and that is what the D, the third, the fifth. So we got the G, the first, the third, the fifth, the first, the third when it's played open, but we're going to change this to here, right here, make that a fifth instead of the third. And then we got the E, which we're going to basically change that to there. You see how I'm trying to manipulate all this? All this is part of trying to learn how to play different things on the guitar, just like they learned before us. And I'll end up sitting here doing this for a while and stuff, just to try to learn my triads, how to augment them, how to diminish them, how to change them, how to make new sounds, sort of thing and stuff. Stuff that people before me that have been playing for years and stuff and studied. I don't know, I know it's called practical music theory, but I think there's also another phrase for it. It's called guitar theory, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the same or not. But you can see how I'm sitting here trying to manipulate all this. These finger shapes and stuff, and it could be awkward shapes for your fingers. I know it is for mine. But it just kind of gives you an idea. I mean, you can do any scale. So we did the A and the G. How about the B? B. There's the B. C sharp. D sharp. E. F sharp. G sharp. A sharp. Back to B. How about the C? C. D. E. F. G, A, B, C. C is one note you will find and stuff that the normal scale, the normal for C and stuff actually doesn't have any sharps or flats unless you actually make the C sharp or flat itself. C actually has just all straight normal notes in it, which brings me to another thing here. On the other side of my paper and stuff, I have this written down. I was showing this and stuff through one of my classes and everything. It's kind of a simpler way to try to help you remember. So if you have that right there, and you're trying to do like the C right there and stuff, where I don't have any and stuff, well, the C on that chart right there, so it actually shows you and stuff, there actually is no sharps or flats in the C unless you change the C itself to a sharp or flats. And then the entire thing is either sharp or flats, sort of thing. It also tells me, so if I go to the D, there should be 2 sharps in the D. So if I play the D right here, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. So the C sharp and the F sharp, I believe. D, E, F sharp, and then the C sharp, which would be the 2, according to the formula. That's correct. So, as you can see, I'm still learning and stuff, but it gives you something else to work on, something else to learn, something, because you're going to, whether you realize this or not, you will end up using this and stuff, and not knowing what you're using can end up holding you back. Knowing what you're using and what you're doing with what you're using can actually help you progress forward. So not only are you doing the exercises or the notes E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, O, G, or G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then backwards again, because it's good to know them forward and backwards as well. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. So, and then if you move down here and stuff like I've shown you before, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and backwards again. And I've shown you down here too as well. Now, here's one more thing I want to show you and stuff before I get off here and before I end this and stuff. So, some of the songs that you may have learned, whether you realize it or not, they probably have a triad in them, or an open chord. In fact, I want to say that most of the songs you play do. If anybody's ever played this right here, the 4th, 5th, and 6th string as a power chord, E power chord. Well, that's the E, the B, and the E. Believe it or not, the B would be the 5th in the triad series for the E scale. To check that, E, F, G, A, B, and right there it is. Now what if we did it right here? That's an F sharp right there, power chord. Does that have the same pattern to it? Yeah, it does. The F sharp to the C sharp, back to the F sharp. The C sharp most likely being the 5th. F, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp. Let's see, what did we say that was? That was the F sharp, C sharp, F sharp. So F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. There's your C sharp right there. So yeah, whether you realize it or not, if you're playing power chords, open chords, bar chords, you can actually teach yourself how to play any chords you want to and manipulate your fingers into their awkward positions or normal positions or whatnot and stuff, just by simply learning about the triads. Making them minor triads, augmented, diminished, whatnot. I believe this was one right here. In fact, I'll show you this one right here. That sound right there comes from a Crazy Train Ozzy song. Well, I decided one day and stuff I was going to manipulate that and slide it down one. And it doesn't sound too bad. And then I decided I was going to try to make a song out of it. these are all triads I'm using. This one right here being the B, the D sharp, and the F sharp. Now, I can't tell you this stuff because, again, I don't have the triads completely memorized. I'm still working on that. But using just the 3 notes and stuff, it makes it a little easier to augment them, or not augment them, manipulate them into their minors or augments and a diminished. So if we're just using these and we want to change it to a minor and stuff, the third, first off we need to figure out which one we're using on this particular pattern, which again I say the B, the D sharp, and the F sharp. So if we were to do the B, D, D, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot, B, C sharp, D, so D sharp would be one of them. I'm still doing that wrong, aren't I? B, C sharp, D sharp, no, D, F sharp. So we were looking for B, C sharp, we look for D sharp, B, F sharp. So B, D sharp, and F sharp. Playing it right here, you got the B, that is the D sharp and the F sharp. B, C sharp, D sharp. There's one of them. D, F sharp. So yes. B, D sharp, F sharp. So that is the normal triad right there for the B scale. If we were to make it a minor, to take the third, and this one's easy because first, second, and third right there. They're not always that easy. But if we were to manipulate it and make it a minor, we would simply take this finger and move it back one. Simple way of doing that, right there. The minor. The augmented would take the fifth and make it sharp. So when you go back to the original, take the fifth and make it sharp. So we're going to move our fingers around to adjust that. But anyways, yeah. So if you need to pause this to write some of it down, or better yet, you can start practicing or learning practical music theory, guitar theory, if that's also another name for it, through Justin Guitar or whatever online course you want and stuff. But either way, when you're learning how to play guitar and stuff, it doesn't matter what you're learning, you're using this stuff, whether you realize it yourself or not. But I think it's better to realize what you're using and stuff. That way you can not only learn to play the songs and know what you're playing, but as well as if you ever decide you want to make your own music and stuff, you have more options as far as sounds to make, manipulations you can do and stuff to create those unique sounds you're looking for. And that's pretty much all this video is about. As long as you're going through and learning and practicing your chords, learning your notes, getting your finger exercises in. Now I'm adding just one more thing and stuff, giving you the idea of learning the scales. And not just the pentatonic scale, but any note scale, and then manipulate it into a triad, a minor, an augmented, diminished sort of thing. Like I said, I may have gone through this too quickly. I may have had some stuff that was wrong in the video, or stuff that was right in the video and stuff. If you want to get it correct and you want to learn it yourself, and you want to know the exact way to do things or not do things or whatnot and stuff, again, an instructor or an online course, I highly suggest it. Because that's what I'm currently doing, and this is a lot of information, especially when it comes to triads, because there are so many different ways of forming these triads and so many different types of triads. It can be very difficult to memorize them. Playing simple songs, just using the open chords. Turn it down a little bit. Or even just using the notes. just me just sitting there making things up as I go along. But getting used to moving your fingers around in these different shapes and stuff will definitely help you out. So I'll leave you with that for now. If you like the video, click the like button. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, or need help getting to that online course or whatever and stuff that I mentioned, or even are trying to find an instructor to help you out person to person, because you learn better and stuff when somebody shows you. I tend to learn the best when I see something, either whether I write it down and I see it, or I see somebody else doing it. But yes, the struggles of learning to play guitar can be very difficult, frustrating, annoying, so getting help makes it easier. And that's kind of the point of this. I'm trying to help out by trying to give you options. Granted, I may not be teaching you anything, which I shouldn't be, because I'm not a teacher. Again, I don't have all this stuff memorized or anything like that, but at least I can maybe point you in the right direction to find you a teacher or an online course that will help you out and hone your talent or your skill or improve your playing or whatever it is you may be working on. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. Like I said, if you need any help with finding anything or have any questions and stuff, leave a comment, send a like. Either way works for me. It's up to you. Enjoy your day.